Hello, guys, and welcome to Anything Goes with Sania and Leah. We are on episode 34 now, and well, we hope you all had a lovely Christmas.
I know. I feel like it's been so disjointed with the episodes recently, because there's been loads going on because we had like obviously you in New York and then it's been Christmas and now it's like that weird in between Christmas bit. I feel like it's been all over the place.
Yeah, and we've had to like guess when things are gonna be like announced. Like, I'm pretty sure on our last one, we were like, well, Merry Christmas, I suppose, but we were like 2 weeks early.
Yeah. Yes, we've been having to record like batch record them, haven't we, a little bit because we've both been so all over the place with everything.
Well, that's not going to change until February, so sorry, guys. But this is actually going to be recorded the night before it is launched. So what is it now? Like
This
this
one's actually on time.
yeah, this one's actually on time. This is on the 27th and we're launching it tomorrow. So on the 28th of
Real time
December.
podcast.
So this is an up-to-date one, so you're welcome, and you're lucky we even fit this one in, to be fair, because Leah, what was it? Leah thought it was Tuesday, but it wasn't. Then I didn't realize I was going home on the Wednesday. There was some mishap there. So I booked it for when we were actually traveling back from Norfolk, and then luckily we fit it in. So count you guys freaking lucky.
Our busy schedules. Oh, I like that. Is that a Stanley one?
No. Do you think I'm spending 50
No.
pounds
I
on a
do.
cup? Honestly, there is money that I will spend, but I will not spend 50. If anyone wants something that's like a Stanley Cup, Beth bought me one that's smaller, but I wanted to see like I wanted to get a really, really big one anyway. Amazon, £20. That's more than like 50% off.
Yeah, I like that.
Honestly, it's the exact same thing. It just doesn't have
Stanley
Stanley.
Bit.
But it's really cool. I love it.
Bright pink for anyone listening.
You what?
It's bright pink for anyone listening.
Bright pink, and it's just I just thought LFP. I want to somehow get the LFP logo on here just
I
because
like that.
yeah, it would just be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm definitely a sucker for like TikTok kind of trends. Like, it's so bad. Like, if something's on there and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, I'll do it. It's so bad. I spend so much money on that site. It's honestly so bad. So anyway, how was your Christmas? How was everything going for that?
Mine was really nice,
Yeah.
So we were just having a little chat before, weren't we? But I went home. Will was working Christmas Day. So I went home to my parents, had like a nice little Christmas Eve buffet, had, yeah, really chilled Christmas, had a few drinks, played some games. Grandparents came over. Had a
Standard
really
Christmas.
yeah, just your standard Christmas really. And then yeah, stayed over until yesterday. So had Boxing Day there as well. Went on a nice dog walk. Went to the gym yesterday. That was good. Yeah, and then played some games in the evening really. So some board games. It was pretty standard Christmas. And then we just come back home today. So I feel like I've got like a normal few days now. Like
Yeah.
today, what day is it? Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wednesday to Sunday is like just a normal kind of week.
Yeah.
Still I've gone back to doing a bit of work, just to like just got some admin bits I need
Tie
to do.
yourself over. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but like I don't know if it's just me, and I know we've spoken about this before, but anyone who owns their own business, like, tell me if you're the same. But even on Christmas Day, I was still finding myself like doing
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like straight up like, nope, I'm off. Like, I even messaged Amy and I even put it on the LFP site because I was like, if I put it on the LFP Instagram, I'm not gonna do it. Every goddamn day of that freaking holiday, I was doing something. Now, it may not have been direct work, but it was like work. And I was like, why
Yeah.
am I doing this? Like, why am I like, Snire, chill out, man. Like, it's so
Well, no.
hard.
When your brain's like wired into your business, it's like even if you're like, right, I'm having a day off, I'm still like, I'll just reply to that message or I'll just like share this to Instagram. And it's just like little things. But
Yeah.
it is difficult. Like I find it really, really hard to like actually have a day off from doing it. And even now I'm like, Will's off work, should probably be chilling and just like enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, I just need to do this little bit of admin or just need to like get this done.
God, like it's like it's just there's always something. I feel like it's because we're like it's always something you can be doing. But like even on like Christmas Day, like I was responding to messages that I made sure I didn't message to because I was like, no, Sni, you were not going to message them back till the 27th. And it got to Christmas Day like 2 days after I was like, right, I'm not going to. And I was like, I have to. I was like, it's hurting. It's hurting the
I
back of
literally know
my
what you
brain.
I literally know what you Yeah, and that was me. How was your Christmas? Because you went to Norfolk.
Yeah,
Like,
we went to Norfolk again, and it's just so lovely. Like I feel like it's so chilled. We had more traditional food this time, which was lovely because before me, Reese and his mum used to just have burritos. And I was like, well, where's the stuffing balls? Where's the roast potatoes? Where's the pigs in blankets? Like, where's all this food? Before me, Reese had never had a roast dinner, and he's only ever had one. Oh no,
that
crazy.
has just absolutely blown my mind.
Because their Sunday dinner when Reese was a kid, a child, was his parents loved India. They went to India for 6 months out of the year. They just have curries every evening. And Reese was a vegetarian up until he was like maybe like
No
15,
way.
16. Yeah, he was a veggie. You would never have guessed it.
No, you wouldn't get it.
So him and his mum just would have like burritos for Christmas. And I was like, well, I went there the first year and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry,
Give
but
me my pigs in
yeah,
blankets.
I was like, I'm not just having burritos. I was like, don't worry
Mm,
about the meat because I'll have the burrito, but I'm having like, like the stuffing balls, like
yeah,
all those lovely juicy bits, the
yeah,
gravy, like the camembert, like come on, like I'm having that. But luckily, like they all liked those as well. It was more so
yeah,
they didn't have that traditional part, but it was lovely. I did chill out, even though I did do bits of work. It was
yeah,
nice. Like I said earlier before we came onto the podcast, like even though I got very stressed prior to kind of like this December, taking a lot of time off, it actually has benefited me in so many ways because I am actually looking forward to like the new year. Like I'm looking forward to like getting back to work. I
yeah,
got itch back, whether before it was like, oh, back to work tomorrow. And I don't like that feeling because it feels like I'm back to
yeah.
working for someone else.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes I think it's really easy when you've got your own business to just go, go, go all the time. And sometimes I know exactly what you mean. And you get to the point where you literally question, you're like, do I even like this anymore?
Yeah.
And
Do I even
sometimes
enjoy this?
sometimes you just need a little bit of a step back to be like, okay, like I'm all good, reset,
Yeah.
and like get excited about it again.
Just de-jungle the brain because I feel like I'm thinking fresher now, whether I think I was so erratic before, like with my decisions, and now it's like, cool, now you have a plan, kind of. Now you like can just chill and like focus on like, just doing the best that you can and
Yeah.
knowing that you still love it because passion speaks volumes. And that's what I was worried about losing was my passion because I feel like then you live a fake life.
Yeah, but it is easy, isn't it? Especially like we were talking about this before, you've had so much going on this year business wise. And sometimes it's like you just need a bit of a breather to like reset and go again and dive back in.
Exactly. And that's what I'm excited to do next year. So that kind of leads us on to kind of like what we wanted to talk about is kind of like what we're getting up to next year and like goals that we've set, but also maybe like how we set goals and how maybe we can help people kind of like
Yes.
manage that as well.
I'm actually quite excited to talk about this because I feel like you get stuff done really, really quickly. I've never met anyone like it in my life. So I feel like you have an idea and then 2 weeks later it's like a fully developed business. So I'm actually quite excited to talk to you about this and see how you do it because I'm like a serial planner in a
Okay.
sense of like the way my brain works is it has to be like planned out meticulously for me. Otherwise, I feel like everything's in my head and I can't like action things properly.
Okay.
Whereas I
Okay.
feel like you just get stuck into stuff. So I'm actually excited to see how you have planned yours or if you've actually planned it.
What, like next year?
Yeah, so we're gonna basically go through some goals, aren't we? Like business,
Yeah.
life, bodybuilding, whatever, and just kind of talk through what we're
What
what
we're
we're doing.
doing. I definitely feel like it's a good conversation to have because I definitely feel like the viewers will see like two different sides of people. Like I'm very much this end of the spectrum and you're very much this end of the spectrum. In the sense of like for me, like my ideas come to me at the most random times. Okay. Like oh, I don't even know what I'll be doing. I'll be doing my hair. I'll be like just scrolling. I'll be in the bath. I'll be singing in the shower. And I basically will come up with an idea. I'll speak to Beth about it. I'll speak to Reese about it, speak to Nat about it, speak to you about it as well. And then from that point, if they say yes, I'm like, fuck it, give it a go. I think my kind of like way of like getting things out there is I'm like, I might as well. Nothing's ever going to be perfect from the beginning anyway. Like, you're never going to have something completely flawless. I've definitely learned that the hard way. So for me, I just think, right, I'm going to get it done. I'm just going to get it out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll figure out
Yeah,
why it didn't work or if it was the idea completely and I'll fucking scrap it. There are
yeah,
plenty of things that I've scrapped with posing. Um, it's more so like I'm definitely a doer and I am not, I'm a perfectionist in most ways, but I'm also not a perfectionist in ways that I also know how quickly this industry fucking goes, that if I have an idea, I need to get it out.
someone else is going to do the idea.
Exactly. But for next year, to be honest with you, I do have plans. So should we talk more so business or do you want to talk more so personal?
Let's do business first because I feel like we've gone a bit businessy anyway. Let's do business plans and then let's go into like personal and then bodybuilding
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, absolutely. So building business wise, business wise it's more so building Amy up, keeping that kind of built, seeing how that goes throughout the 2024. So I don't know if you guys know, LFP last year got 77 clients on stage, which for me I had no idea about. I was like, I
Good
think
going,
I
that
know
isn't it?
a few, and then I was like adding everyone up and I was like, that's actually quite a lot. I was like, that's almost 100. So I
Yeah.
was like, next year, my goal is to have 100. Now, with Coach Amy, it should be doable. We've already got clients who are coming to us to compete next year anyway. So I'm excited to kind of like achieve that goal because it's nice because I'm in my second year of like my business now. So I can have targets. Like it's very hard, I think, to get targets from the first year. But
Yeah.
now I have targets that I know are achievable and I know kind of like where I stand within the kind of like community,
Yeah.
if you want to call it industry. But yeah, helping Amy kind of get set up, more so kind of expanding the LFP site into more of a diverse kind of site rather than it. A lot of people think of it as a posing site, whether I'm actually trying to move it more towards just generalization throughout bodybuilding, just so I can help a lot more people. And I'm getting sponsored athletes in to essentially help with that because I know where my education and where my kind of like understanding kind of stops. And I also understand that time is of the essence. So it's like, I thought I'll bring people in who essentially can help with bringing that site to essentially grow that site and to have more people involved with the site. And it just has a lot more content and a lot more educational factors to it. Um, and then generally that's one of those are the only main things that I've kind of set myself out to do at the moment. Those have been kind of like under the works. But like I said, like a lot of my ideas do generally just come. Like I know, like I think one of the examples that you kind of talk about a lot is the post donate. I think I spoke to you about it that evening, and then that following day I had reels, post,
Yeah.
graphic.
And I was like, how has she done this so fast? I was like, we literally spoke about this last night. How has she made all this stuff for it already?
I also think it's my ADHD. Like if I've got something, I'm going to take that back because I'm not clinically diagnosed as ADHD, but I'm definitely one of those people where I either get fixated on something and I cannot stop, or I'm someone who is so like airy fairy. I really struggle to focus. But when it comes to like things that I'm excited about and things that I know that will help people like the post innate, I was like, I literally, I think I spent like 2 hours on Canva. I got best mic the next morning, videoed some reels and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And it was all bashed out basically.
Lashed out. Exactly. So it's like I know things will come, but like for me, like as long as I have like my goal settings is kind of like based off like, right, have I reached the target for my clients this month? Right. No. Right. Yes. Okay. Is there a dip in the market? Is there something that I can do? Is there something that I can do better? Like I'm consistently questioning myself. And I always find that even though you have goals that you want to achieve, they're forever adapting from day to day because everything is so adaptable and everything changes from day to day. Like you just don't know. So I always like have like some sort of a goal, but generally like when it comes to business, it's like I just kind of like take it day by day and I'm just
Yeah.
like I can't focus too far into the future because you just don't know what
Yeah,
it's gonna
I know what's
bring.
going to happen and what's going to work and what isn't. Yeah.
Exactly.
In you're doing like so obviously you've got ideas of like what you want to do and what you want to build. Do you like do any like written planning with it, or do you literally just have an idea and just roll with it?
No.
You literally just go with it.
Yeah, you're like, what do you mean? I just think when you in my head, if I over plan, I'm no project I'm going to think is perfect, and I'm never going to want to launch it. So
Yeah.
if I write, don't get me wrong, there's things that I will write down, like what's involved, what's included, how much is it going to cost, how much time is it going to take, all the logistics I write down. But for me, it's like it depends how big the project is. When it came to the website and the community and all that, don't get me wrong, again, that was one of the things where it was like, oh, I had an idea 2 weeks later, I hired a website designer. I made sure I could afford it. But that's then when I was like, right, Sania, you need to have an idea. And I needed to do
Yeah.
my research. And that's a project like that, where it's a lot of money and a lot of investment and it's massive and it has to be, don't get me wrong, my site still isn't perfect. There's still fucking things that aren't right and it pisses me off and
Yeah.
just can't find the right people to do their fucking job. It's never going to be perfect, and that website has definitely taught me that I just need to jump into things. I
Yeah.
need to have some base of a plan, and then you just adapt from there. Post innate, for example, I realized from my last one, I want to include further things, I want to better that, but I only know that because I've actually done it.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's like things like maybe that you might have. And like, don't get me wrong, I feel like you should maybe plan things and write things down. But I also think there's something called over planning and never actually
Yeah.
achieving.
Sometimes I think what happens with planning as well is it makes you procrastinate on what you're actually trying to do, and you end up spending so much time planning that
Yeah.
you never actually get the thing done that you want to get done because you're just planning it all the time.
And you'll also come across things that you don't realize will come across, like errors or inability to perform, or you actually can't even do that. So my advice is to just get straight in and take that first step. Have an idea in your head, make it happen. That middle line, you need to just kind of, you just need to think, right, how do I get from here to here? And that's it. Like if it's like a program, or if it's like anything like, I don't know, like something with coaching, like a challenge or whatever, you just need to think. And first of all, you need to get the advertisement out there. And that's the one thing that I always do, even if I don't have a plan. So,
Yeah,
like, if I
get it out
advertise,
there.
exactly, if I advertise something, 9 times out of 10, I still really don't have the bulk of the work done. I still have to make the welcome packs. I still have to like figure out the timelines. I still have to do this. I still have to do that. Trust me, it's stressful, but I give myself enough time when the start date is, because
Yeah,
advertisement's key. So as soon as you have an idea, get the advertisement out there, get the look that you want, put as much information as you can out there, have the basics done, and sort the fucking rest out later. The worst case scenario, you refund everyone if you can't make it happen. 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to then.
and then that works quite nice as well because you've got a date in your head that you know you need to have that done by. So
You
people
have
tend to
to.
work a lot better under like time frames rather than be like, yeah, I'll just kind of get it out whenever. So then it gives you something to work towards.
Exactly that, because you have the pressure of this person's paid £100 deposit.
Mm,
I need, like, if this isn't done, I'm fucked. I have to do
yeah.
it. Like, I have to. Like, there's no way that I can't, because it's my reputation that's on the line. And that's what, like, I feel like I actually bumped into Wiki at the gym.
Yeah.
She was having a chat. I can't remember with who it was, but they were filming some content, and she was like, "Oh, we were just talking about you. We were talking about how we want to get like, I want my, like, you're really good at advertising." And she was like, "How do you do it?" And I was like, "I just literally post as often as I can, and I get everything out there as quick as I can."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's just people are generally like, people don't realize, like, you're just, unfortunately, even though you don't want to be that annoying person that's posting all the time, you have to be. That's how you get business. And
Yeah.
that's why you have a separate Instagram account or website, because you can then annoy people who actually want to be
Yes,
following
definitely.
that account.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I definitely put a deadline on things, I advertise it, and then I've got no way to back out.
Yeah. And then you have to kind of get it done by then.
Exactly. Like, I promise you, that post in 8 course, I don't think I completed that welcome pack until like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
But I had everything else done. because
Yeah.
I had the logistics done and I knew it would work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I do. It sounds like you're just like, I just can't. Like in your head, I can see you go.
That's why stuff gets done though, you know, that's why stuff gets done. Whereas I'm a massive like thinker and planner, so I put like loads of time into that, and it takes me a lot longer to get things actually going because
Yeah.
I'm like, right, this is how I'm gonna do it, this is how it's gonna be structured.
Do you feel a lot of pressure from doing that? Like continue, like, do you feel like you question yourself a lot? Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people go wrong as well. They spend too long on the thinking and then they question if it's going to
This
work.
is actually one of my goals for next year is to just, when I get an idea, just roll with it rather than putting time into planning and like mapping all the time frames out and kind of making lists. Like I'm just gonna, if I get an idea, I'm just gonna do it straight away. That's actually one of my goals for next year, just to implement things a lot faster. Because I feel like I've had ideas and I'm like, I haven't implemented it in it fast enough. It should have just have gone out then.
Yeah.
That's
I remember one thing that you brought up to me, and that was months and months and months ago. And I don't actually even think it's gone out yet. I
Can
don't
you
think
see what it is on this podcast or not?
I don't want to, but I was going to help you with it with a number of other people as well.
We'll talk about this after.
Yeah. And it's just things like that, whether you could have got one in already this year
Yes,
and you could
yes.
have then got feedback from that and then done another one next year. And it's like don't get me wrong, like I do think your method it works, but I also think my method works. And I feel like if you can get the middle ground between both of us,
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like, fucking hell, I should have planned that because that
yeah,
fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah. Yeah,
There are elements where I'm like, I wish I had your ability to like just sit down and chill the fuck out and make sure that certain elements of it works. But then I love the craziness of mine because I get
yeah,
fucking shit done and I
yeah.
don't question will it work. I just find out.
Yeah, I think the middle ground is definitely like good.
So what's your plans? Like is there anything that maybe like we can help push, or is there anything that you have based on your business?
So at the minute, I've got quite a few girls now competing, like 2023 and 2020. No, not 2023. What year?
2023, we're going into 2024.
You know
Girl,
when you're in that weird period where you feel like where you think it's next year, but it's not next year.
yeah.
So 2024 and mainly 2025, to be honest, that's when, because a lot, obviously all the girls I work with are all first timers, right? So a lot of them are coming in with the goal of competing, but they need probably a good 2 or 3 years in the bank, just training, going through maybe some fat loss phases, doing maybe a photo shoot. So we've got quite a few girls now who are like, a lot of the new clients joining are wanting to compete at some point, which is
Oh,
really
that's
exciting.
amazing because that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, and not even competing, but just girls that are like wanting to be a bit more serious with it. And I do still have a lot of lifestyle clients as well who I really enjoy working with. But yeah, there's a few girls who are now competing. We've just started organising the shoot for next year because we do like 2 team shoots normally every year. It's really nice. We go away, we have like a weekend away, we like go out for dinner, go out for drinks, stuff like that. I think we've got like 16 girls doing that one, so that one will be really good. We've
That's
got
really cool.
we've got this stunning house in Oxfordshire that's like a big house and it's got like a roll top bath and like big staircases. So we're doing like a nice shoot there in July, which is going to be
That would be
insane.
so cool. I love
I'm
that.
really excited. So we've got that, which will be really good. So that's being planned at the minute. And then obviously I bought on Nicola, who at the minute I'm just trying to like drive that and like get some clients over to her as well. Because obviously I've got my clients. So the goal then is to sort of be able to bring more people in to work with Nicola so we can kind of grow like the business that way a bit more. Because
Yeah.
obviously I can work with like
Every,
I think coaches have the clients that they like working with in terms of like the number of clients that's like a sweet
yeah.
spot for them. So yeah, the goal is to obviously bring Nicola in and to basically that's my main goal for like
Yeah.
early 2024, just to get the ball rolling a bit more with that. So we've got some like filming stuff planned for January, some like team training sessions and bits and bobs like that going on, which I'm really excited for. Because obviously I'm in my off season right for the whole of next year, so it'll be a really good time to just focus
Yeah.
fully on the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main goal. Shoots, obviously pushing more down the like competitive route, and then bringing Nick up to where I needed to be with clients and get her a bit more kind of involved with everything, which is really nice. So they're the main kind of business goals. And I've got something else that I'm working on a little bit as well. That's like a little side project type thing. which I've spoke about on Instagram a bit, and it's had like a few little messages and stuff about. So I'm quite excited about that.
Ooh, I mean, that's exciting. You'll have to tell me a bit more about that because maybe I just don't pay attention to be honest. So I apologize. Honestly, I just hardly go on Instagram now. Like I'm just so TikToky. It's so bad.
Yeah,
Such
yeah,
a pity. But that was actually like something that we spoke about before, isn't it? Like it's actually really difficult bringing on new coaches.
yes,
Like
it is.
when you have been the sole owner of a brand that has grown with just you, it's really hard to show people and get people to trust that this person's trained by me. This person is maybe not as good as me because I have plenty more years on them. This is my way, whatever. But it is hard to like penetrate a market of where people only trust you. Like, for example, you have a family of four, your parents split up and they get partners. It's hard to trust that person. It takes months and months to trust that person. So I feel like we're both on the kind of similar line of like, having to try and push that and go like, guys, like this girl is like good and like she go to her, like she's
Yeah.
amazing. Like
Yeah, like Nick is such an incredible coach. Like her knowledge, we did a podcast the other day for the girls that was on like female hormone health. And we touched a bit on like menopause and kind of contraception and all that sort of thing. And I was like knows so
yeah,
much, it's ridiculous. But then it's difficult because obviously you're so used to doing everything yourself. And it's then like so my job role is like, okay, a coach and like running my business and organizing my social media. And you're then basically having to take on a new job role, which is like training up someone else. So it is like a whole new job that's like thrown into the mix, which is quite a tough thing to like sort of like you're basically taking on a whole nother job.
yeah, well you're basically doing their job for them because it's your business and you have to build the trust up with the clients. Like they are your priority. It's not where they're doing the work, but you also have to put in twice the amount of work to tell them what needs to be done, to
Yeah.
get them to do things. Like you're taking up like a manager role. And I feel like I'm quite lucky in the sense that I've kind of been in like a managerial role before and I'm quite I'm quite outspoken. So I feel like I kind of suit that
Yeah.
ability to just say how it is and like this is shocking. Like I was telling you about Amy doing a reel. If she listens to this she'll know exactly what I mean, and I literally had a chat with her. I was like, Amy, I was like, does anyone really find a tone like this really exciting to listen to? Because no one is going to listen past 10 seconds because it's so boring. But then like you like, do you know what I mean? It's like little things like that that people don't realize. Like you have to train certain people with certain things, and like you don't realize how much training is actually involved to get them up to your standard either. And to like it's definitely opened my eyes to kind of like time, because I was thinking, woo, like maybe I'll get another posing coach in next year, and I'm like, no. Maybe not, like maybe not next year. It's just that it just takes almost a year for someone to probably build up that trust within a
Yeah.
business anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
definitely.
but it is a lot of work.
100%. So obviously that's what's going on business wise. So what about like bodybuilding wise?
Life and bodybuilding is very like cut close
Okay,
to
let's go combo then. So what
yeah.
what else have you got on next year?
So I'm dieting very quickly, dieting in the new year. So I'm implementing some sort of cardio and like some sort of step goal currently now, because I didn't do any cardio, didn't have a step count goal. I just kind of went on walks and stuff, hardly any. Probably got like 5k steps a day. So I've just started implementing that just to kind of get into some sort of like a routine in a very minor deficit, just so I can be not a fat piece of shit when I completely start. Being away in December has been so hard because I've not been. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I've not been on plan. Like
Yeah.
not one. Like don't get me wrong. Every breakfast is the same. Every pre and post meal is generally the same.
You
But
still have
around
some
that,
routine and
yeah,
structure.
around that, it's very like I'll have another one. And I'll be completely honest, because I'm not perfect, and I don't think there is anyone out there who is perfect. And I just this December have I've not been stupid because I've only gained a kilo completely
Yeah.
throughout this whole, which is actually perfect for me. But I've also not been optimal in certain ways, and that's just because life has gotten in the way, and I'm completely fine with that. Um, so next year I am getting a little bit uncomfortable now, and I think that's just because I've not been home, I've not been in a full
Yeah.
routine, and it's just not what I want. So I want to get back into somewhat of routine. I'd like to lose maybe like 5 to 6 kilos within 8 weeks. I'd be really happy with that. And just see kind of like what's going on under here, trim down a little bit, and then slowly increase the food back up again, depending on kind of how I look. But I don't know if you've actually seen, I wonder what your thoughts are on this, is
Oh,
I've actually gotten really kind of into like the whole Olympic lifting.
I've seen this on your Instagram. I saw
Yeah.
you doing some front squats and some like cleans and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I've been really into that, and Reese for Christmas actually oh my God.
Oh God, what?
You know how like big Reese
That
is?
was so dramatic.
Oh my God, what? You know how like unflexible Reese is and like how he struggles to walk downstairs? He is, for my Christmas, he's coming to a Olympic lifting session with me. And
Really?
yeah, like he's coming. He was like, because I know you won't go on your own because it makes me really anxious. Like I get really anxious
Oh,
and like
that's quite
moving.
cute.
No, it's cute. Okay, yeah, it's really cute. I forgot about that bit. But it's fucking hilarious because he's gonna be awful and it's just gonna be shits and giggles the whole session because what he's gonna do is because he's so strong, he'll just do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not it. And I just cannot
Yeah.
wait for this big bloke to walk into a CrossFit room and all these people are just looking at him like, mate, you don't belong here. And then he actually performs and it's like, yeah, don't know what's going
That's
on here.
cool though. So what's that? Are you actually learning to, is it like a CrossFit thing where you're like learning to kind of do the list properly?
Yeah, so it's like a class. So basically what happens is like there'll be like people who come quite often, like it's
Yeah.
like an actual like gym. And
Right.
basically with like a CrossFit gym or like an Olympic lifting gym is generally like you pay like £100 per month, like
Yeah.
the going rate, but you also get the coaching and all that kind of stuff included. But like a lot of people learn like CrossFit from like taking group classes. So you know like how you do a body pump and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in a group setting. So you do drills. So you basically do like maybe one day you do like deadlifts, maybe one day you do cleans, maybe
Okay, yeah, I've seen this before
snatches.
actually. Yeah.
And then like as a finisher, you'll work on your fitness. So it'll be like a
Like a
circuit.
one type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So he's bought me the trial and he said, if you like it, he was like, I'll buy you a package so that, you can, because I
Yeah.
said to him, I was like, I don't want to do Olympic lifting as my sport. Like I might do like once I'm done with bodybuilding, but I still very much want to be submerged in it. But I was very much kind of like losing that want to progress. Things were kind of just getting too monotonous. I didn't feel like I was like achieving really anything when I went to the gym. Like I was just, maybe that's just because I've not been into the whack of things and into routine, but I felt like I just needed something to work towards and I needed something to really work my brain because I know how to train, I know how to work hard, I know how to do that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't testing me in the ways that I wanted it to. My fitness levels are pretty shit. I was on a walk earlier. I've only just got myself an Apple Watch. I was doing a very slow pace and my heart rate was at 130. I'm not that fat. I'm not that like I'm just so
I've
on.
only been doing 5,000 steps a day though.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But honestly, I was like, that's so bad. How is it 1:30? I'm doing a slow pace, a normal pace. This is not okay. I was a
Basically, you're on mission get fit for 2024.
yeah, basically, Sania, get your shit into play. Because I used to be so fit, so active. So I'm basically doing like a hybrid thing where on my push sessions, I start off with the Olympic lifting. I'll be doing my jerks, I'll be doing like strengthening my core and like all that kind of stuff for the Olympic lifting. And then I'll go into bodybuilding and stuff.
Right,
Or
okay.
I'll
So you're
switch
doing
it
a bit of
around.
like a hybrid type approach.
Exactly. Pull will be deadlifts and like
Yeah.
the cleans, and then leg days may not even do it on leg days, but then I may have one day that's solely on like cleans and stuff. And I'm going to be keeping cardio in throughout my off season now. That's one thing that I've learned is I should probably keep it in because I don't like how unfit I have become. And I think
Yeah.
it's so important to keep fit. And I think with how how health is, like I need to train my heart. I should probably train my lungs. Like I should be doing these things. Like I I train, I do bodybuilding. I'm anyone who does bodybuilding generally, which is really kind of bad, is like the epitome of like fit. When in reality, it's like,
Yeah.
actually, no, it's the opposite. Like, we're either fat or we're really lean. So it's like I actually would like to be in that middle ground and kind of just work on like getting back into my 15-year-old sprinter self. Like I can sprint, like it's mad how quickly I can jump into things. Like you get me on a treadmill, I can sprint for like 10 minutes, no problemo, but I'm dying.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. Yeah, I've actually still kept a lot of my cardio in this time for like,
Have
well, I'm
you?
obviously still quite post show, but I said to Dan like I like having the cardio in there. Like I'm doing 3 half an hours a week,
Yeah,
steps is still 13K. Like I quite like having that in
yeah.
just so I don't feel like I'm absolutely gonna die when I'm doing like a leg press.
Yeah, like a high rep set or something. Like I can't do them. I
Yeah,
genuinely can't do them. And I think it's really important. But I get so bored with like your bit. Like I'm looking at that bike next to me because I literally just did 20 minutes on the bike like an hour ago. And it was so boring, man. But you get me to do like wall sits or like pull-ups or like skipping rope. Like I've got a skipping rope here.
yeah.
All the, like changing the equipment up like every like
Like
so
more
minutes.
circuit stuff.
Yeah, like circuit, it's so fun. I enjoy it, and I'm like, why am I doing all this stationary shit? Like, don't get me wrong. If you're telling me to do a circuit for an hour, I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself. But like, if it's like 30 minutes, I feel
Yeah.
like a circuit is far more like I feel like it's more fun, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, like steady state has its place like in prep when you're trying to manage recovery and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think there's definitely room, especially when you're not like in a prep. I think there's definitely room to build in a bit
yeah,
more like flexibility. I've been even doing some like hit stuff on there, like it's still on kit, but just like more so on the stairmaster, I'll go like faster for a bit and then slower for a bit, like
yeah.
just break it up a
Just switch
bit.
up a bit, yeah. Like I feel like in a prep though, like I have a lot of people actually like I've actually noticed like a lot of like I've noticed that quite a lot of Olympians actually do more hit like
Yeah.
circuits at the beginning of their prep. Because a lot of them don't have to build like loads of muscle.
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
honest. Like if they're on like they only have
They're
to.
just maintaining, aren't they, pretty much?
Yeah. So like a lot of them do like circuits and then when it gets to like the latter end of prep and they're really trying to like be conservative, that's when they actually do stationary stuff. And all of the like not all of them, maybe not the males, but a lot of the female competitors are actually very fit. And
Like
it's like, how do you do that? And it's because like they generally stay somewhat fit throughout. And I know obviously like they've got the muscle, but I would love to be in a position where I'm fit, I'm strong, and I can compete. I want
yeah.
more.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because obviously what a lot of people do is they're like hardcore bodybuilding, that's it, bodybuilding, or you get people that then stop bodybuilding and they do a full like 360 and they go really into like, I'm not saying this is bad at all because it's just their decision, but they go really into either CrossFit and like completely sack the bodybuilding off, or they go into like, like the high rock stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
again, sack the bodybuilding off, but
yeah,
you don't get many people that like stay in bodybuilding but aren't the like hardcore.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I get you, but I
Yeah,
feel like that's because people like to flip flop. Whether I don't, like, I am not flip flopping. Like a lot of the traditional lifts within Olympic lifting slash CrossFit, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know at this point. It's very similar, like to you just break each movement up and train for each movement. And it's like overhead presses. Okay, yes, you use more momentum, but with me holding that load up high over my head, I'm going to be growing muscle. Like it's progressive overload. Front squats, it's a squat. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. It's a
yeah,
squat. Like I may be doing different reps and stuff, but I'm still working towards that kind of like strength element and progressive overload. Deadlifts,
yeah,
they're body. So it's like I feel like it's because people who shift like they think they're so different. And don't get me wrong, they are very different. But the actual kind of like build up to getting strong and to growing muscle, because you still need muscle with CrossFit and Olympic lifting. It's like the foundations are the same pretty much as
Yeah, I
bodybuilding.
get what
You need to have the whip and the skill.
yeah, I get what you mean. So that'll be cool to see how you get on with that next year.
I'm gonna put you through a session, I
Okay.
reckon. I
Oh,
don't even
exciting.
know how to do it myself, but I'm gonna try.
No, Will has actually been doing some like hit stuff because obviously he's done like competing now.
Yeah,
He's still building, but he's been doing like some hit stuff. So I was actually thinking I might go and do that or like once a week as like a little fitness type thing.
it's fun. Like you really, like, like when you come out of cardio, you're like dying, but you're like not like you're not like that. You're just like, oh my God, like that was really tough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sweating. Like when I did a CrossFit session with my best mate and they did like this hit stuff, I was like, when you like come out and like literally all the endorphins, all the adrenaline coming, you're like, I can't believe I actually just did that. Like I actually thought I was gonna actually die from that hit session, and I did it. And that was the first time in a long time I felt like I'd accomplished anything. And that's what made me start doing it more, because I was like, I missed that feeling of finishing like something that you thought you were going to die. Like it was some sort of like where you're training the heart. When your throat's dry and you're like, I can't do it anymore. And you just carry on. That sort of feeling I miss. I feel like you only get that with hit, and you only get that like with like things like football and rugby where it's like a lot. Do
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
get
mean?
what you mean. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that. And I think you would enjoy something like that. I can imagine, because we're wanting to like move somewhere near like Loughborough Derby area. I can imagine me
Oh,
and you
actually.
in like 10 years time, like we'll be like with our little mats and we'll be like heading off to like the David Lloyd Leisure Centre going for our body pump session, like hit class or like something in the morning, or just some, I can just imagine me and you would do something like that. Like, like
Oh. Well, I am gonna start doing some like some little bits of hit stuff. Obviously, I've actually dropped my training down to 4 sessions a week now as well. So I was doing 5 sessions a week, and I just felt like I was really having to cram it in to fit it in, and then I felt like I was just like going in and just going through the session. And I was like, I
yeah,
actually want to go in, have more time to actually, because the gym's quite a drive as well. It's like a half an hour drive for me. So I
yeah,
was like, I want to be able to go in, like block out a good few hours and actually get a really good session done and like go in and have a really good session
yeah,
rather than just feeling like I'm going in and out all the time. So
yeah.
I've dropped my training down to like 4 sessions a week now. And they're all quite big sessions. And I've now got abs. So this is one of my areas where they were like, you need to work on your abs. So I've got abs. Dan's literally gone hell to leather on the ab programming. Honestly, I did so I do abs now at the start of every single session. And 2 of them are shorter and 2 of them are longer. And the
That's
long one
enough.
takes me a good half an hour to get through at the start of the session. So I'm now doing that before every session.
That's
So
vile.
if I don't have jacked abs by like next time I compete.
If anyone wants to go back, maybe like 3 or 4 episodes where Leah was excited for abs, fast track now, because
No, you know what? They have got stronger though.
have they?
Yeah.
I hope so. Progressive overload.
I
Duh.
can nearly do hanging leg raises with straight legs now.
Could you not before?
No, I had to bend my legs.
Oh.
Where you holding like that? It's quite hard.
Yeah. To be fair, I probably use momentum. I'm probably like,
Yeah.
wee. That's probably.
I was swinging all over the place at the start, and then I was like, right, now I can stay still. Now my legs are nearly straight.
That's
So
good. Well
yeah,
done.
so I'm
Like
happy.
abs is hard. Like it's so grim, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Like,
it's quite monotonous as well, isn't it? Like it's just quite. I find it quite boring to train.
yeah.
Um, she
Do it in
says,
your hit sessions. And
yeah.
that's what,
Well, I'm doing it at the start of my sessions. That's made it loads better. So I'm doing that. Got my 4 training sessions. Got my bit of cardio. Um, yeah, and then just doing a few extra bits. Like I found this reformer Pilates thing that I really want to go to. That's actually in Derby. Um, so I think I'm going to go to that. I found like a 7 a.m. session in the morning. So I think I'm going to get up and like do that once a week. But like just adding a few like extra bits and bobs around like because I think I'll always have the bodybuilding training in there. Like I don't think that's ever going anywhere. But
yeah.
just having a couple of extra nice bits around it. Like now I've got the
Yeah.
flexibility to do that.
I feel like we're both definitely going down like a similar route next year. We're both, I feel like, realize that this year has been super, super duper duper hectic. And we're now, I think, trying to just find things that make us happy and gives us time for ourselves. And like I feel like last year was very over consuming for me for bodybuilding. And I don't know if it was very similar for you. And now I feel like we're trying to just like not steer away from it at all, but we're just trying to find other parts of us that we love, like having
Yeah.
time for us to chill out and having time for us to like it just once you get into the bodybuilding scene, I just find it's very stuffy in there.
Yeah, and I still love it. Like I love bodybuilding. I'm still very much in bodybuilding. I'm still going to compete again, all of
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
still want to have a really good off season and commit to it and make good progress. I'm not like
Not
going
like
away.
bye.
No, not at all. I'm still training super hard. Like I'm still definitely very much on it,
Yeah.
but just adding in little bits around it of, oh, actually, I'd quite like to spend a little bit of time doing that, or doing that. It's just quite nice to have other bits that you can
Yeah.
like add on to it as well.
Time.
Yeah, so that's been quite fun. So that's like, because obviously I'm doing a massive off season next year anyway. So I'm quite excited to like get stuck into that and just do a full year through.
That's exciting. Oh, I'm so excited. Honestly, I never used to get excited for the new year because I used to always hate like I just used to hate the whole new year, new me,
Yeah.
but
It
not
puts a
even
lot of
new
pressure,
me.
doesn't it, sometimes as well from people like,
Yeah,
oh, what goals have you got for like the new year? Like you have to sit down and do this massive goal setting session and know exactly what you're working towards.
yeah. And if you like doing that, then perfect. But for me, I think it's more so like having three main goals, being like business, life, and just like sports or health or whatever my hobby is. And then kind of just like building, because I feel like I said, like with like how I do stuff with my business, like things just pop up. Like you really don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. And I think like with like just knowing that life is kind of short, like for me I'm just like I just need to live more in the moment, and I just need to think right, like it sounds morbid, but I could die tomorrow and I would wish that I had done more for myself than I had, or done more for others. So
Mm.
that's kind of like the baseline. And I feel like I'm excited for next year because I'm going to be doing more things for myself and I'm going to be doing more things for others. And I don't know, it's just exciting because I haven't got loads planned, but I know loads is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited for next year too because I feel like yeah, everything's just in a nice spot, and I'm
Yeah.
just excited to kind of get stuck into like the business and the off season.
I'm just
And
excited we're both doing an off season together, to be honest, because it's ridiculous at this
one of
point.
us has been on prep the whole time with me.
Literally. But is there any, I feel like in terms of like general goal setting, like you can see that me and Leah are like two very different people in like certain aspects. But I generally just think in terms of like goal setting is like, I feel like the main thing for you to not do is put a lot of pressure on the goal. I feel like that's the main thing. It's like have the goal, but then don't put pressure on it, because I feel like that's when it becomes not enjoyable. And I feel like that's why a lot of people on the 1st of January who have a fitness goal leave in like February or
Yeah,
March, because they put too much pressure, they expect quick results. And in reality, it's like have a goal, but don't like almost just like work towards it, but don't expect anything from it. Do you know
yeah.
what
I
I
think I think one of the best. I did a goal setting session with my clients as well, like the other just before Christmas, just to get them to like think about things. And I think one of the best things you can do is like think about your goal and then break it down into like steps. So it's like
mean? Yeah,
rather than having this massive goal,
yeah.
literally think, right, what's the first thing I can do? What's one actionable thing I can do that's going to move me towards that goal? And then literally just go and put that in your diary somewhere for the first week in January. Like you don't need to add everything in, just pick one thing and just add that one thing into the first week. And then right, the first week I'm doing one thing that's going to help me move forward.
Exactly. This is what I say to my clients, like, cool, we have a long-term goal, but let's forget about that right now. Let's just think about what we can do to work towards that goal, because that goal is so big, it's so overwhelming, there's a lot of pressure to it. Whether if you actually work on the small little
Yeah,
things that lead up to it, like you'll probably find like long term you work better because you have short term goals. And this is what I say to everyone as well, like, and I feel like that's why I have like a few things going on but not loads going on, because I know that that ladder will just keep going until I have what I want.
yeah,
And you just
yeah.
don't know what steps you're going to have to take. And any advice for anyone who is going to start their fitness journey on the 1st of January, do not do everything at once, please.
Agree.
Do not go to the gym every day. Do not do cardio every day. Do not cut your food to 1,000 calories. Don't drink lemon and lime iced water. Like, don't do all that shit. Just do one thing at a time. and then start to build the habit up.
Yeah, top tip.
Mic drop. But anyway,
Wow, and that's the episode done.
and that is finito. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed that, to be fair. It was quite
Yeah,
fun.
I enjoyed it. I feel like it was a nice chat.
Yeah, I do. Nice
Well,
that
very
we've got a bit of time.
now.
But yes, guys, we are gonna do we got to remember, maybe you should actually write this down because that will remind you and then you can remind me. This is the one time where I love Leah's kind of like process.
You're going to get me to put the question box on Instagram in my diary.
Yes, I am. So we're gonna do a
Wow,
Q&A.
right.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do
do it on the I'm gonna do it on Monday the 1st.
Monday the 1st, so that's our New Year, New Me goal. And we're gonna do a Q&A for
I'm
one
writing
of
it
our
down right now.
podcasts. Huh?
I'm writing it down right now as a reminder.
Because I will forget and you will forget and we
It's
won't
in
even.
the diary.
Okay, it's in the diary, guys. It's done, it's planned, it's written. So have a lovely rest of your day, guys. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, and please follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed. Sorry, I was just checking my diary. Um, and we'll be back next week.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.